Hello, my name is William Joyce. We practice immigration law in Boston. I'm a retired immigration judge and a former Department of Justice official. We have over 2,000 active immigration cases in a wide area of various issues that could impact on immigrants and people who may be here without appropriate documentation. We're going to be doing a series of YouTube videos on subjects that we believe would be of interest to the community. And we'd like to start off with a rather specific issue, but a very important matter to immigrants living in the state of Florida. Recently, the Florida Senate passed an immigration law which is signed by Governor DeSantis, which has a very adverse impact on the immigrant community. I'm going to very briefly run through those provisions, and you can think about how it might have any impact on you if you live there or you're thinking of going there. The first thing they're going to do is they're getting really tough on identification documents. If they find out that you're using a fraudulent document or a state or local community issues an identification document to someone that doesn't have papers, there's serious civil and criminal impacts relating to that. And secondly, they're getting tough on driver's licenses. There'll be no more driver's licenses issued in the state of Florida to individuals who cannot prove they're there legally. And they're also going to question, I don't see how this will happen, but the other over half of the United States that issue driver's licenses to people without documentation. And if they can figure out you have one of those driver's licenses, they could end up charging you with driving without a license, and you'll be headed to court. Another area of chilling impact here is hospital admissions. They're now asking that anyone is admitted to a hospital or visits an emergency room that you have to declare your immigration situation. And if you're undocumented, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll turn you away, but they need to report that to the state. This creates a lot of problems. A lot of immigrants will choose not to go to hospitals rather than go through that process. So another area that's going to create significant problems for the state of Florida is this law and its relationship to employment restrictions. Now, the employment restrictions don't start to January 1, 2024, but they're rather harsh. First of all, they're going to require to everyone that's employed by a company of more than 25 people to show that they have lawful status in the state of Florida, whatever that means. So there'll be substantial penalties for employers who hire individuals who turn out to be here illegally. It starts out with very substantial fines and potentially criminal prosecution that gets worse. They're going to require that people use the federal E-Verify program to show that your social security card is real and that it's been issued. And all of this should have a very bad effect on the key industries in Florida: construction, restaurants, maintenance, recreation, etc., that as far as I can see has wide use of people who may not have appropriate status. Also, they're going to require that all the state law enforcement agencies cooperate with ICE and the federal government in the apprehension and the detention of what they would call illegal immigrants, and that this seems to me to give poetic license to police officials to do whatever they want to this key, vibrant part of the Florida community. I think that if you're living in Florida now and you don't have appropriate papers, or you're not in the process of getting them, you ought to think about whether or not you want to stay in Florida. For an individual who's coming into the country, I would think twice about going to Florida. If you like what you saw today, we hope that you would consider subscribing to our channel. We're going to do weekly presentations, subject areas that we feel would impact on the immigrant community and might be of interest to you. Also, you may consider following us on Instagram at Joyce Associates, where we do weekly postings on subject matters of interest to immigrants. Thanks.